Studies consistently reveal that possibly 1 in every 3 girls in the U.S. have been sexually abused. Boys also experience sexual abuse, but at a lower rate than girls. Sexual abuse sets children up for all kinds of development, psychological, and behavioral problems, and these can include remaining stuck in certain stages of development, depression and other serious mental health disorders, shame, low self-esteem, alcohol and drug addiction, prostitution, lack of trust, relationship, and especially marital intimacy disturbances. Sexually abused children and adolescents often carry their secrets and shame for a lifetime as a result of fear and feelings of guilt. I remember the story of one young woman who was sexually abused by an uncle for years, but was afraid to tell her mother for fear of not being believed, and afraid to tell her father for fear that he would kill the perpetrator. Others have deposited the pain and trauma so deeply within their unconscious selves that only another trauma, relationship crisis, or other precipitating event can open the wounded self or connect with the lost inner child that experienced the abuse. Most of us will try to bury pain that is too painful to handle. So, as a general rule, denied pain has to find a crack through which to surface so that we will satisfy its demands for relief and freedom. Ungrieved losses such as our innocence and childhood must be acknowledged and grieved. I have told many adult clients that their inner child knows the truth of what happened to them and will tug at them until they are heard and accepted as being a part of who they have become as adults. Accepting the truth can be very painful, but only truth can set one free. Stop believing the lies that you have to keep the secret and remain a prisoner of your past. Instead, find someone that you can trust to share it with. It might first be a friend and then a spiritual leader or director, school guidance counselor, or professional mental health counselor. Refuse to believe the lie that your past determines your future. With appropriate help, you can move forward to a new beginning. And I assure you that in relationship with Jesus Christ, you can be set free. He already knows about your past and pain and is ready at any given time to provide the hope of recovery, healing, and freedom that you need. It's yours for the seeking and asking. Thank you for staying with us on Time for Hope. Our guest for today is Cecil Murphey, and we're talking about his book, When the Man You Love Was Abused. And Cecil, we're talking about sexual abuse. You might have also experienced physical abuse.
I did.
I had wondered about that in reading your book and you describing the family, your family of origin and so forth.
Yeah, my father was an alcoholic, very violent, but only on weekends. He never missed a day of work, but Friday night, from Friday night till Sunday, you know, raging. He used to beat me a lot, and one of the ways I survived that was I stopped feeding. And that's true with a lot of kids are beaten. So sexual abuse came along, and again, that just fit right in with it. And we asked a question about memories. Not only did I not have any memories, I wasn't aware of feeling. When things would get intense for me, I would just numb out, feel nothing. And that's, again, very typical. My recovery began, I'm a runner. Began when my running, I run every day, and I run like 6 miles a day. And one day I ran, I think it was 12 miles. I hadn't cried in 40 years. I was running, and about a mile before I got home, I started crying, not just convulsive crying. And this was so strange to me. I didn't know what was going on. And then a few memories started trickling through. I remembered the old man. I remembered the woman who had abused me. And I got home, and I was a mess. For days, all I wanted to do was cry. Hadn't cried in 40 years, so maybe I'd been saving it up. But that was the beginning. And you know, I think sometimes we think memories are like putting a fish hook into the water and you pull them all up intact. And that's not true, and it certainly wasn't true with me. What happened?
The body has a way of protecting itself.
That's right.
We have a way of protecting ourselves also. It's like even grief early on, the stage of shock is there. So you were protecting yourself by not allowing all of them to surface.
Sure.
If they had just, all come out at one time, that, of course, that sometimes happens with PTSD, then there's no telling what could have happened at that time. So you were looking after yourself in a way, or God was, probably God was there, because there's that question anyway with going through what you've gone through and others have gone through. Where is God when all of this is going on? And He was looking after you.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, my memory started coming back very small bits, but they, piece by piece. In fact, even now, after all these years, occasionally something will come up, and like we call them not flashbacks, momentarily. But back in those early days, just little things. And what you asked before the break about how I knew they were real. Frankly, I hoped they weren't real. I hoped I had imagined it.
Did you try to not keep denying early on?
Well, no, I knew they were real, but there was also this part of me. So one day I talked to my sister, the one who'd been abused, and we were talking, and I mentioned Mr. Lee, the man who abused me, and she said, oh, I'd forgotten that, but I knew she hadn't. And we started talking, and she confirmed a lot of my memories. And then the woman who abused me, I have 3 sisters, talked to a second sister, and I mentioned this, and she said, well, I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. That's when I found out that woman had been abused. So that was really helpful, and sometimes these memories would come back, and I'd call my sisters and ask them. I have two younger brothers who both died of alcoholism, and I'm quite sure they were abused by the same female relative. And maybe the old man, but certainly the female relative. They never fully denied it, except one time I said something to my brother about his drinking, and he said, you don't get it. He said, the only time I don't feel pain is when I'm drinking. And I realized that that's how he coped. And he died at age 48. Mm.
That's what alcoholism very often is about, is trying to drown one's pain or medicate one's pain.
Well, and see, I think we all have forms of medication.
Self-medication.
Self-medication.
Yes.
Mine was denial, which is amnesia in my case, not remembering it. And I was able to cope. The problem is that if you deny the negative emotions, you also tend to deny the positive.
Yes, of course, we don't know where to stop. Once we start denying emotions, then who calls the shot as to which ones are denied and which ones are allowed to be, or we allowed to experience? Now, did you turn to a counselor? Did you turn to anyone for help?
I'm not opposed to that. I didn't. And part of it, remember, mine's a trust factor. I just couldn't trust anybody that I had to pay. I know that sounds crazy, but I just couldn't talk to anybody, but I had 2 people. My wife, honestly, she does nothing about sexual abuse, but she just said, I don't understand this, but I love you, and I'm here to help you any way I can. The other was my best friend. He'd been my best friend, he's now been my best friend for 31 years. And when memories started coming back, I called him and talked to him. And he's been there for me the whole time.
And he was, interestingly, I noted that right away. He's like our Heavenly Father. He was not going to abuse you.
That's right.
He did not take advantage of your need for his having him as a friend and a confidant and a companion, did he?
Yeah, and his name is David. David and my wife have been those 2 constant factors. Later on, I was involved with a group.
And we're running out of time, so let me get this in, because you're focusing your book on women who love men that have been abused, and you say recovery does require that you have a strong wife if you're married, a wise counselor, you had your friend and confidant, and effective church helps also that would understand if you went public with it. And sometimes churches can't handle these things either.
Yes, that's true.
Can they? They find it difficult. Now, there's so much more.
Let me just say one thing.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's go out with what you have to say.
If a woman wants to help a man she loves, the best thing she can do is listen. Listen and shut up. I mean, it sounds like harsh when I'm saying that, but listen and don't ever tell anybody unless he gives her permission. See, he needs to be able to trust her because the people he trusted in his childhood abused him. But if he can talk to her and she listens and doesn't try to heal him, that's what therapists do. That's their work. She just listens and loves him and makes him know that he's worthwhile.
Unconditional love. Accepting what you tell her by being willing to listen and not have advice to give out, right?
Very good.
Very good. Well, Cecil, you've done a great job. I really, really encourage our viewers, and I'm going to do it again, to get a copy of your book, and I certainly pray the Lord will bless you as you continue spreading the word. It's not something you're happy about, but it is something that is needed to be talked about, and you've done a wonderful job. May the Lord bless you, and thank you for coming on Time for Hope. And I have some more to share with you. Actually, I have a letter to share with you. Dear Dr. Freda, I thank God you were on the air this morning when I really needed to hear it. Thank you so much. And we're very happy that we were able to be there when this person really needed us. We find it very encouraging when you take the time to let us know how much you appreciate the ministry of Time for Hope as we seek to address any and all issues and situations that are related to living life on its terms. It has been said that life is hard, and this can be true for everyone, and our unrealistic expectations related to the way life is supposed to be can become part of the problem because it does not always turn out to be the way we expect it to be. Our vision and mission for the ministry of Time for Hope is to be there for everyone we can when they must accept the reality that life can be very hard. Life at times has been hard for our guest, Cecil Murphey, because of what someone chose to do to him at an early age. I encourage you to get a copy of his book for yourself or someone else who needs to find the hope and freedom that Cecil has found. Our goal for this program is to challenge all of our viewers to hope and believe that things can change for the better in spite of their present circumstances. And we believe that a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, along with the experiences and directions of people he has called and gifted to share their stories, provide a great combination to provide this hope for them. Will you help us continue ministering to people who are going through hard times in their lives? Any and all gifts to this ministry are greatly appreciated, and they help us keep assuring our viewers that it is always time for hope. You may call us at 1-800-669-9133 or write us at Post Office Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304, or go to our website at timeforhope.org.
To get a copy of today's book or a suggested donation of $13 US or more, which includes shipping and handling, log on to our website at timeforhope.org. You may also call us at 1-800-669-9133, or you can write us at P.O. Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304, or P.O. Box 58, Toronto, Ontario M5A 1N1. Until next time, have a great week. And remember, it is time for hope.